This is 5.1.3f, and we're told we have a random variable x, which is normally distributed with a mean 10 and a variance of 2. Now in our textbook, they always put the variance part second, so this is always the variance, not the standard deviation, which means that our standard deviation, okay, let's see. So if we're looking at this, this means that my mean, mu equals 10, my variance equals 2, so my standard deviation equals the square root of 2. Now I'm going to want to know that because often our formulas require us to use the standard deviation and not the variance. Okay. So we want to find a certain value of x so that the probability that our random variable is less than or equal to that little x value is equal to 0.81. Now this is one where I like to think of it as we know the probability and we want to find an x value. Okay, so intermediate step is, well, first we draw a picture and we say, okay, we know that this area to the left is 0.81. Intermediate step is always find z. It doesn't matter if you know x and you want to find the probability or you know the probability you want to find x. Z is always our intermediate step. So 1, draw a picture. 2, find z. Okay, so we're looking for some z value which has 0.81 area to the left. Now left is easy because that's what our table gives us. So we're looking in the middle because the middle is where the probabilities are. We're looking for a probability of 0.81. The closest we can get looks like this is probably the closest, so it looks like z is 0.88. So z equals 0.88, which coincidentally is close to 0.81, just a complete coincidence. Okay, now step 3, now we'll find x. So we take our z value and convert it back to x. Now you can memorize different formulas, but I like to just memorize one formula and have that be enough. So we know our formula, z equals x minus mu over sigma. So let's write in everything that we know. So we know a z value, we know our mean mu equals 10, and our standard deviation is square root of 2. So let's plug all that in. So z is 0.88. X we don't know, that's what we're looking for. Our mean is 10, and our standard deviation is the square root of 2. And now let's solve for x. Okay, so we'll have 0.88 times square root of 2 plus 10 equals x. You put this in your calculator, and you get x equals 11.24. So it turns out that about 81% of all of the possible values you can get for this x are going to be less than 11.24.